Here's Bobby Collins.
Thank you. Hello, Caesar's Palace. Yeah. God. They flew me out on, what's this airline? Continental. That's what they say when you call them up. I called them up, they went Continental. So I kept it going. I go, hello, this is Bobby calling Continental. And they kept it up. Hello, Bobby calling Continental. I asked for the leg room. I'm tall. Give me the bulkhead. No, that's too easy. They gave me the middle of the plane, middle aisle, right? I'm sitting in the middle. I got people on either side of me, and I got that New York bitch lady on the right. You know, with the moose, more than moose. She had Bullwinkle on her head, right? God. And she took my armrest. She took my leaner. You know, I went, oh, lady, come on. We got to share daisies here. We got to share that. No, it's mine. It's mine. And her head went around a couple of times, right? And I was tired. So I start to nod out. You ever have your body just like jolt you? The fuck is that? What is your brain like? And that drool's real attractive, isn't it? Little kids, mommy, mommy, look at that man. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Lady, do I got drool? I don't give a shit. So I go back to sleep. I was tired. So I start to nod out again. What airline? Continental. Start to nod out, and the stewardess comes down with this cart. She whacks me in the elbow. I hit my chin, and I bit my tongue. Did you ever bite your tongue before? Oh, it hurt so bad. I was like, gee, the fat, I bit my tongue. Look at that. There's blood coming all out of my mouth. Maybe I should get bandaged for my tongue. I ain't never seen anybody with a bandage on their tongue. So I figured I'd get up to go to the bathroom to look at my tongue. I start to get up. My foot falls asleep. The fuck is this? What, are parts of your body after a while? Nah, we can't make it. Now I'm walking down the aisle, I'm like, excuse me. And the stewardess is like, when the hell did he get on the plane? I'm like, you don't understand. You hit my elbow, the Jew was there, and that bitch lady. So don't fly, Continental. And don't whine. Don't whine. Oh, I don't like people that whine. 2 pretty girls on the plane. Well, 1 pretty girl. The other one was like pretty girl's best friend. You know what I mean. Little chunky, lot chunky. She had little skinny girls orbiting around it. And they're just sitting there smoking and talking. Just smoking and talking. Lip fell off, put it right back on, didn't miss a word. Now, my mom always taught me in life, you get more with honey than you do with vinegar. So I figured I'd go over to the big girl, Bruno, in order to get to the pretty girl. So I go over to the big girl, I go, hi, my name's Bobby Collins. What's your name? Then I heard it. Hi, my name's Jody Leaving. Blood started to come out of my ears. Sleeve of my jacket fell off. I couldn't believe a human being could speak like this. I went back for more. I go, where do you live? Beverly Hills. 2 buttons flew off my shirt. And I made that big mistake. I offered them a ride. Don't do that when they're together. Individually, fine. Stuck the big girl in the back seat. I wanted to tie her up on the roof. Stuck the pretty one right next to me. Yeah. Sometimes your body thinks rather than your head. Like, hey, hey, down, Cujo, down, boy. Oh, I'm only kidding you, Benji. Little tiny peepee. We went through a tunnel. There's a voice coming from my back seat. Imagine having a job working in the tunnel like that. The hood of the car blew off. The ashtray shot out, it hit me in the stomach, and a French fry came out of my mouth. I haven't had French fries in 5 years. It formed in my stomach. Hey, ladies, do guys whine? Do guys whine? Do we? How about when we're sick? I got caca. And we're real sensitive when you're sick. What do you mean you got 104 temperature? I'm hungry. Can't you make me a sandwich? Well, maybe you can crawl in there. No! I got caca. It's good. Just did a movie. This was interesting. They go, Bob, you got the part, but we want to pay to have you work with a trainer at a health club. Like, you know, I'm no James Bond, but I'm no Fig Newton. Nah, no Johnny on the pony over here. I like women, okay? Closest I get to this is Alfredo, who cuts my hair, and even then you gotta watch your elbows, because he's... It's like, Alfredo, you gotta take your pee-pee off my elbow. Not nice having a man's pee-pee on your elbow. How many people go to health clubs? Come on, how many? A lot of women. Yeah. I show up, I got my gym shorts on, t-shirt, black socks. I'm a New Yorker, right? I'm standing there, I'm waiting for Mr. Trainer to show up. Biggest human being I've ever seen. This guy, he couldn't pee. He's like, all right. I can't reach my dick. Johnny, I gotta go to the toilet. Can you reach my pee-pee for me? Huge guy, had little skinny guys orbiting around him. He inhaled and his nipples shot across the room. And they get into a lot of this male bonding crap. You know, they all wear these big brown leather belts. One guy took his belt off, his head rolled off. So I'm there, and the guy's not the brightest guy in the world. I mean, he's, you know, the elevator just didn't make it up to the penthouse with this guy. Pick up the bar, give me 20. I pick up the bar, I do 20 of these things, I drop it. I go, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Don't work like that. You gotta hang out there with Conan, the speech impaired, for a while. And after every exercise, this yutz is looking at me. That's a good exercise. Are you ready to go on to another exercise? Fuck you. But I'm not stupid. The guy looks like a couch. What am I? I'm ready. I'm ready. I gotta be honest with you. After an hour and 10 minutes, Conan leaves. Between you and I couldn't lift my arms. Oh, I really couldn't. If you introduced me to someone, Bob, I'd like you to meet. I'm like, hi. I couldn't get my clothes out of the locker. I was like, I had to go down 20 stairs in order to leave the health club to get my car. And every step I took.
Rulo.
Yeah. How are you? Good. All right. Yeah. Everybody's such a know-it-all. You know, I'm sick of people who read. Because they think they know everything, all right? And there's some stuff I just don't want to know, all right? I don't care. Like, everybody I know is a nutrition expert now, and that's fine, all right? If you want to be on a health kick, fine, all right? If you want to live to your 190, fine, all right? If that involves no butter, fuck off, all right? I like butter, all right? Don't ruin butter. Butter's good. I'll put butter on Skittles, all right? I don't care, all right? Leave butter alone. Like, I can't eat fast food anymore. Remember when McDonald's was fun? Hey, you go to McDonald's? Yay, McDonald's. Not now. Now it's a guilt trip. You know what's in that? Goodness? I don't know. I don't care, all right? I'm not doing research on a sandwich, all right? If you pull into McDonald's, you pretty much decided, you know what? To hell with my 70s, all right? I don't care, all right? That's not even real cheese. Well, it's playing the part, all right? So if it ain't cheese, it's cheese's stunt double, all right? Leave my lunch alone, all right? I don't need abs, dude, all right? I need salt and pickles and stuff, all right? And a Coke, all right? And that bothers me, too, all right? I don't know if you have this problem in Canada. I am sick of this. Here's my political crusade, all right? It's 2006. Can we just get along? Can we just have Coke and Pepsi in the same building? Is it that big a deal? Do we have to draw a line everywhere? Yeah, exactly. Every time I go to a restaurant, what would you like to drink? Can I have a Coke? Oh, is Pepsi okay? Is Monopoly money okay? Because no, all right? Pepsi sucks. Stop pushing stuff nobody wants, all right? Stop pushing stuff nobody likes, all right? Like orange popsicles. Nobody likes them, all right? Put the grape and the cherry in there and seal the box, all right? Nobody likes the orange, all right? Orange ain't gonna catch on, all right? Nobody likes it. Because that's what happens. You eat the grape and the cherry first and all you got left is orange. And your mom's not gonna buy new popsicles because why didn't you finish the last box? Because all we got is punk-ass orange, all right? That's why I need the last box, because orange sucks. Well, I'm not buying new popsicles. Well, there goes my whole freaking summer then, doesn't it? I'm saying, I wish I talked about more important stuff. Like, I wish I could tell jokes like about the president, but I don't know shit. Is that bad? Like, I don't care. People guilt trip me all the time. See what Bush said today? Did you see his speech? No. How could you miss that? I guess I got more channels than you do, dude, because... It was not Nickelodeon, all right? I don't care, all right? I'm watching SpongeBob, all right? Shut up. I don't care, dude. I watch dumb stuff on TV. I get pulled in, you know? I get pulled in by Discovery. They own me, dude. You know what they get me with is Loch Ness every time. Loch Ness, searching for Loch Ness again. And I know I'm going to be disappointed at the end of the show. Every show ends the same way. We didn't find anything, all right? I haven't been watching anything for a while. You ever have this problem? My cable went out like 6 weeks ago, and I'm screwed. You ever had this problem? The cable goes out, and the cable company just doesn't care? I called them. I'm like, yeah, I got fuzz. Can you do something? Well, we can't come out tonight. We can come out on Monday between 10 a.m. and Thursday. You gonna be home? Then they ask you dumb questions, too. Like, you ever get on the phone with customer service and they ask you the dumbest stuff possible? Is your TV plugged in? I will freaking stab you, all right? I swear to God. Who unplugs the TV ever? You plug it in once and it stays that way till you move, all right? Nobody unplugs the TV. I gotta go. That's my time. Thanks, you guys. Thanks.
Has appeared on The Tonight Show 6 times in 5 Montreal Comedy Festivals. Please welcome Mr. John Wing. John Wing, everybody.
Thank you. I'm John. I'll be your comedian. Those of you who've never seen me before, this is exactly what I look like. Thank you so much. You can probably tell from just looking at me that I had a lot of sex in high school. And not just with priests. Is that the line? Did I cross the line? Wasn't high school the coolest time? My God, I loved it. We were young, we were reckless. You ever do this? You're making love in a field during an electrical storm and you're struck by lightning and she dies, but thank God you're wearing a rubber. Anybody? Am I the only guy that happened to? You get home and your father's there. You are grounded, mister. Oh, I tell you. Delayed action on that one. Yeah, give you an extra second. I'm feeling good and I look good too, and I thank you for saying so. We're talking about age tonight. I turned 40. God, must be, 11 and a half years ago now. And my Lord, it feels weird. I'm 51 fucking years old, ladies and gentlemen, and it's so much fun, you know? It's so much fun. My hair's going gray. Yeah, not here. No, not here. Here, it goes gray here. But I don't really mind. Now when I'm naked, I look distinguished. And everything looks bigger against the white backdrop. So I have totally made my peace with that. I'm at that age where my brain still writes a lot of checks, but my body can't cash them anymore. You know? I still want to make love, but then 5 minutes into it, I'm thinking, how long is this going to fucking take? I should have warmed up. This is crazy. You know, I'm forgetful, too. I'm getting really forgetful. I was making love to my wife the other day, and I could not for the life of me remember the name of the woman I was thinking about. Oh. You know, it happens to us all, I suppose. I'm married. Mrs. Wing and I, kind of a pet name. Married 18 wonderful years, 21 total. And, what? They can't all be wonderful, I guess is what I'm saying. Marriage is a learning experience. Am I right? A learning experience? Right. For men. For women, it's more of a teaching experience, really, isn't it? Right? The shaping and polishing of this rough piece of coal, who will never be a diamond, might one day achieve cubic zirconia status. For an hour. And then you'll be a lump of shit again. Working your way back up the home shopping gem chain. I've learned, boy, have I learned. Little life lessons my wife gives me, you know. I've learned that if my wife makes a mistake, it's a mistake. It's an anomaly. It could happen to anyone. You know, if I make a mistake, it's indicative of a larger pattern of stupidity. To which I am genetically predisposed. I've learned never interrupt your wife, because if you do, she's just going to start all over again. You're going to double the time you have to sit here listening to the story. The story you cannot shorten, you can only lengthen. And remember, guys, if she's telling you about a problem she has, she doesn't want you to solve the problem. Like you even could. Look at you, you pathetic piece of shit. Like you could solve a woman's problem. She wants to hear herself talk about it and figure it out for herself. She needs you there so she doesn't look like a lunatic talking to herself about her own problem. So shut up. My wife has this thing, she'll come into the room, she'll say, you know what I was thinking? It's a trick question. Because she's actually saying, you know what I've decided? That's what she's really saying, right? By the time she gets to me, the decision's been made. Right? The thinking part's over. You don't even get a lot of time. She came in one day, you know, I was thinking we could use a new dishwasher. And I said, yeah, I suppose we could. And the doorbell rang. It was a guy delivering a new dishwasher. She thought of it and it came to the door. That'll backfire on you, I'll tell you. We had a night this summer, 10 o'clock. Both my teenage daughters were in bed Friday night, 10 o'clock. Had not happened. They were asleep in bed, 10 o'clock. Hadn't happened in our house in 6 years. My wife was awake at 10 o'clock, which hadn't happened in 8.5 years. And I thought all the planets had lined up in the shape of a blowjob. I went into the living room. I said, honey, I don't know if you know this, but the girls are asleep. And she said, wow, I'm wide awake. And she got this weird look on her face. And I said, what are you thinking about? And she said, sex. And the doorbell rang. Hey, wait a minute. You guys are great. Thanks so much.
How hard it is to quit, especially since I didn't even like cigarettes when I first started. Well, I had to use that nicotine gum to get going. And now it's out of control. But I'm happy to be here. Happy to be out of my house for a little. My house has fleas now. Because I just moved in, and the woman before me who lived there had 5 cats, and I only have 1 cat. So there's way too many fleas per cat right now, which kind of puts me in the position of cat surrogate to a lot of these fleas, right? So they jump on. And it's hard not to feel like a loser with fleas jumping on your ankles. And at first, I didn't even know what it was. I could feel them, but I never saw them for a long time because they jump off. They watch your head. That's what they do. And he's gonna look, get off. And then finally, you catch one of them getting all dreamy in your leg hair down there. So then you've got it. I reach down and I catch him, right? I think I caught him. You never know because they're so small. So just to make sure, you squeeze really hard for about the amount of time that you think would kill a flea, which is always less than the right amount of time. And then you let go to check the damages, right? And they're never dead. You let go and they're boink. They jump right. It doesn't even seem to psychologically affect them to be held motionless like that, which amazes me. That would drive me nuts to be held. Just let go and fuck you. That'd be my response. The fleas, they're not. I don't know. I guess the ones who would do that are. You catch them back and throw them in the toilet, so you eliminate them from the gene pool, and the other ones reproduce. So you're really working against yourself, kind of. It's a paradox. But anyway, yeah, I just moved to this place, and I thought I had everything set up, including the phone, and then I get there and the phone doesn't work, so I have to go to the neighbor's house to borrow their phone to call the phone lady. Not that I would assume that it's a woman at the phone company ahead of time. I just know the rest of the story. So, that's all. So I go down there, and I'm a little nervous to meet new people to begin with because I believe that extraterrestrials live and work among us. And usually it's no big deal until they get a couple of drinks in them. And then they get all friendly with you, you know. Jake, you seem like a pretty decent guy. I just thought I'd tell you. They rip their faces off, which I don't care for that. So I go down to the neighbor's house, not even thinking if they're from outer space. I'm waltzing into headquarters. And I could be on the phone and they're rubbing me with a viscous liquid and I turn into a chrysalis right there, and they devour me at their leisure. So, or feed their young. It's not really worth it to use the phone. That's my point. But, well, so my judgment was a little clouded. Anyway, I get in there, I get on the phone, and the phone lady is hanging me up. She's got all these questions. What type of trouble are you having with your phone? I don't know how many kinds of trouble there are. I was having the kind where you pick it up and no sound comes out. I mean, it still had mass and it was retaining its original color. So in both those areas, I was completely satisfied with my service. So I told her, and she says, well, we'll have to send a guy right out, which I had figured they would have to send a guy out because I keep the phone at my place, and there was no guy stationed there, as far as I could tell anyway. So she says, we'll have to send a guy right out. Maybe that's why they ask what type of trouble you're having, in case you come up with some bonehead problem like, you know, the buzzing noise comes out by my mouth. Well, that way she can just tell you, well, flip it over, and you save the guy a trip right there. See, so she's looking out for wear and tear on her guys. Anyway, she says, we'll send the guy right out, which is a big lie. The guy is not coming right. There's not like there's a big fleet of guys right there, you know, with their tools. Jake's house, ready, go. The guy, they don't come right out unless you go out. If you go out for 5 minutes, the guy will be there. I don't know exactly how they do that, but I think as soon as you call, they put your house under surveillance. And that's because sometimes you see the phone guys going down in the street, manholes. There's no phone equipment down there. They will come right up through your toilets if you're not careful. Because they can collapse their skeletons. I don't know if you knew that. I saw that on the Discovery Channel. Anyway. So she says we'll send the guy right out. So I'm not taking any chances. I'm waiting at home with the lid down. Because that way their helmets click against there. And it's kind of an early warning system for you. So I'm waiting. Hours go by, there's no phone guy. And then finally the phone rings, which scared the hell out of me, because it's broken, right? Ring, I wheel on it like it's the devil or something. Ah! Like I would fool the devil with a fake karate thing. And when you think about it, I doubt I would recognize the devil if he came as a phone. But I shouldn't say that, or I'll go back to the room tonight and there'll be a big devil phone waiting for me. Ah, the devil, I'll say, and he'll just trying to prove a point. Ring. So let me just say I would recognize the devil if he came as a phone. So there's no need for a personal appearance. So anyway, I'm scared, but I answer the phone. Hello, which is what I always say. Hello. It's kind of friendly. And I say hello, and the guy says, hi, this is Al from the phone company. I'm on a pole outside your apartment. And no one had ever said that to me before. So I'm on the 3rd floor. I look out the window. There's Al. Normally, no guys are there. So kind of a big day when there's a guy out there whose name I know. So I wave at him, hi, Al. And then quick, I look away because he might pull his face off at that moment. Oh, yeah. Big joke to them. So, but he didn't pull his face off. And I learned that phrase, I'm on a pole outside. It's very handy for telephone business. Anyway, I always had to call people, you know, and half the time you get the secretary and they give you that, may I ask who's calling crap. You cut right through that with the, it's Jake Johansson, I'm on a pole outside your office. So, I'm feeling pretty good. Troubles, it's good to be out of the house, but then I end up having troubles traveling. I had the weirdest thing. I was supposed to go to San Francisco a couple weeks ago, and I'm sitting at home. I had a 4 o'clock flight. At 2 o'clock, my phone rings, and it's this woman from the airline that, I mean, I think it was a woman. It was a woman's voice. It could have been a man or one of those people with everything. But, yeah, I have a hard time relaxing on the phone when I'm trying to imagine something like that. So I just go ahead and assume it's a woman. This is not important to the story. Anyway, I answer the phone and the woman says, Mr. Johansson, we're having a problem with your plane, and so your flight's going to be about 42 minutes delayed. About 42. I don't know how they get that number, 42. There's evidently a psychic out on the runway. 42 on that one, about. And so she says, so you don't have to leave for the airport till 42 minutes later than you were going to leave. Like, that's a treat for me. And I say, well, then I'll get to San Francisco 42 minutes late. And she says, well, yeah, the laws of physics will still apply. So I say, that's too late. And she says, well, then we'll put you on the 3 o'clock flight. So I say, great. And I hang up and race to the airport because now I'm late. And I get there. I go right to the screen that tells you what gate to go to, because I go right to the gate instead of waiting in line for that counter, because that's a loser move to wait for the counter. Right? You always get behind some guy who's taking his monkey on vacation. So you gotta wait while they fill out the monkey forms, you know. What did the monkey have for breakfast this morning? So I'm going to the gate. So I go to the screen and it says San Francisco 3 o'clock flight canceled. So this woman called my house to do this to me. Hey, look, what big... So I'm pissed and I want to find her. And I figure, it can't be that, how hard can it be? I'm just going to look around for the laughing woman and game over. And I'm looking around and there's nobody laughing, so I give the security camera a good stare because I know she's off in a booth somewhere. And then I have to go get in line for the counter because there's no monkey line. So I wait. By the time it's my turn, I have a full head of steam built up, and I let the lady have it kind of a little, you know. Someone called my house. The flight was 42 minutes late, and so they put me on the 3 o'clock flight, and now that's canceled, so what the fuck am I supposed to do? And so she says, well, please don't say fuck. So a lot of kids at the airport. So I say, all right, well, I'm just upset at the woman who called my house. I'd like to speak to her, please. And she says, oh, don't worry, we fired her. So I say, well, what are you going to do? And she says, well, we'll put you on another airline's 3 o'clock flight. So she calls them up and starts making little marks on my ticket jacket with a green felt tip pen that I can't believe they're going to honor when I get to the other airline. And what's to stop me from getting a green flare pen? I could fly wherever I wanted to, couldn't I? So, but she says it's all squared away, and she hangs up on Judy from Time Life Books, or whoever she was really talking to, right? So she says, all you have to do is go to this other airline's terminal, which is East Jesus, the other side of the airport, for all I know. So I asked, well, how am I supposed to get there? And she says, well, you take the airport shuttle. So I said, all right, well, where do I get that? And she says, oh, it's down on the lower level where the blowing garbage is. So she won't come with me. So I say, where exactly do I wait for the bus? I don't want to blow it. And she says, oh, don't worry. There'll be one leaving right as you come out. So that's where you wait for the next one. So I go down there. Sure enough, there's a shiny bus with a happy, courteous driver pulling away right as I come out. Bye-bye. So it's like the decoy bus. Nobody is on the bus. He just pulls away right as someone looks like they want to get on. And then that way they keep that bus nice. Then my bus shows up with the guy driving who looks like he's on his way to the gun store after work. And I get on. It's the airport shuttle, right? So it only goes around the airport, so it's all other people who have been screwed by life are on this bus. It's like the bus of the damned. They can just once around straight to hell. I get on the bus, and now we're stopping at every turn. The first stop, this guy gets on, who is one of those people that you see at the airport, but that you can't believe that they're going somewhere. Like, how did he get a ticket? Why didn't he buy food? This guy, he's got no bags, and he's that kind of dirty where he's starting to get shiny, kind of. So the shiny guy gets on the bus, and so finally we go around. Finally, we get to my terminal, which is right next to the one I was in, but it's a one-way, so you have to go all the way around. It's kind of a funny counter lady joke. And so I go in, and they honor the green squiggle mark, to my amazement, and then they immediately tear it up and burn it in some voodoo ritual thing that I can't. All I can remember is grass skirts and chicken bones flying around. That's then I get on the plane, and then they're doing some kind of psychological experiment now on the plane with these snacks that, on the short flights, they used to just give you a bag of nuts, right? And it wasn't a lot of nuts, but those were your nuts. And you knew that. That was your nut ration. And it was, you could do whatever you wanted with it. Eat them all at once, or spread them out on your tray and number them off, however you... Or name them. You could name them if you wanted to. Bob, Larry, Judy, Tim, Tom, Rose. Bob, say goodbye to your little friends. It's a short flight, but you gotta have fun. So now they come around with this basket of all kinds of snacks, like raisins and nuts and candy and cookies and crackers, and you don't know how much you're allowed to take, really. And I'm thinking, go for it all, right? Well, keep the basket as my gift, but the stewardess is right there, so I just start taking things off until her facial expression changes a little bit. Oh, I didn't want, I miscounted with these. This is good for me. I made it through, and then I got to San Francisco, and it was the most bizarre. I ended up. That was a bad trip for me, because I also on that trip locked my keys in a rent-a-car, and I knew they were in there before the door was all the way closed. That's the worst one. Or you do that. It was like I was looking around for a referee or someone who could intervene and get the keys out for me, because technically I knew they were in there. And, at first, I couldn't believe that I'd done it. You know, I'm feeling around the window for a time warp, or maybe I can open the trunk and pour through the back seat into the, you know. And then finally, there's that just resigned look as you're staring into the locked car at your keys, you know. I remember when I was in there. It was such a simpler, happier time for me. And I remembered what tipped me that the keys were in there. As the door's going closed, I'm thinking, funny, I can hear the radio. It's like the radio's going, the wipers are on, the motor is running. There's so many clues. But I couldn't put them together. So I didn't know who to call, so I called the rental company, because I thought they would have extra keys, which they do, but they keep them at the rental car place, in contrast to my theory, which was that they would be in a hidey hole near where I was. But it turns out very few companies operate on the hidey hole system. So they suggested to call the AAA. So I call the AAA, and they send a guy, and they say the guy will be right out, of course. And he shows up in this little yellow truck, empty. I thought he would have the jaws of life or some crane to pick my car up and shake the keys out through the air vents or something. And then he reaches behind the back seat of his truck and whips out this metal Slim Jim, is what it's called, which is also the name of a beef jerky snack. But those are totally ineffective in this situation. Make a little greasy mark on your window, maybe. But you can't get in your car with one of those. They do make a nice treat for the AAA guy. If you're thinking ahead, you bring some Slim Jims. Or if you're really thinking ahead, you leave one on the seat inside the car. And that way, you can use that as an incentive to egg him on a little bit. You get in there, that's yours, buddy. And this guy, he did not need an incentive. Either it took about 4 minutes to break in my car, and then he said he could have done it faster if he would have had the thinner. Evidently, there is a slimmer Jim. So then you wonder why he didn't bring it with him, right? Not enough room in the truck. Not that I wanted the car opened any faster. I guess with the thin one, he doesn't even have to stop on the way by. Just blink like that and takes off. It was so fast it made me wonder why I bother locking the car in the first place. Who am I keeping out? Who can't get in without the keys? Me. I'm the only one. So I've been having troubles with my toaster lately. As if everything else wasn't bad enough, it's the automatic pop-up thing went bad on it. So you put the toast in, then push the lever down. Well, technically you don't put toast in the toaster. I mean, if I had toast, I wouldn't need the toaster. So, exactly. I put bread, key ingredient of toast, into the toaster. And, well, I'm proud. I don't even have to look at the recipe anymore. So I put the bread in there, and the thing that's broken is the automatic pop-up, which is the first thing to go bad on the toaster, not counting the darkness control knob, just because I don't think that's hooked up to anything from the beginning. You know, that's like some kind of Fisher-Price control that they put on this. I'm making the toast darker. No, you're not. They might as well put a steering wheel on the toaster. I'm driving to work. So I get the bread in there, and then I try and time it. I go off in the other room and put my socks on, or some toast on task, because I don't know exactly how long it takes to make toast, except that it's definitely longer than it's interesting to stare into a toaster. For me, anyway, once the wires get orange, show's over. So, I'm in the other room, put my socks on, and I get all distracted by my feet. You know, this little piggy went to market, this little piggy stayed home. I love that song. And I forget all about the toast until I smell smoke coming from the kitchen. I run in, and there's fire coming out of the toaster, which is kind of a surreal sight to see flames coming out of those slots. And yet I felt strangely calm, just because really at that point there's no scraping the toast. Once the bread ignites, you pretty much have to start over. So I extinguish the fire, and then I tried to fix the toaster, which I don't know why I thought I could fix a toast. It was a guy thing. I thought I'm a guy, I can fix it, I'm bigger than it. So I go right for the screws on the bottom, and they know that's right where you're going because they put that warning on that, don't take these screws out. Obviously that's for someone else. Get the toaster open, and I realize I have no idea what I was hoping to find in there. It's like a shoelace untied. Maybe I could fix that. Snowman with his hat blown off. Let me get that for you, little fella. That must have been it. So, it's neither one of those things, so I have to go to buy a new toaster to the toaster store, where the salesman, of course, wants me to buy the biggest toast machine he's got, right? The V8 rocket toaster. It's way more toaster than I need. And his next step was to try and sell me the 8-slice toaster, like I'm going to have the Brady Bunch over for toast. Here's a story of a lovely lady. They all wanted their toast the exact same time. When do you need 8 slices of toast? Now! I tell him, I don't want that. And then, finally, he sells me the toaster for me, which was a one-slice toaster, about a foot long, but an extra wide, too, in case they invent some new kind of bread. I don't have to upgrade my toaster. Just because you know the Japanese are working on some new bread right now to make our toasters obsolete. They're over there with the wide loaf, high-resolution toast. Yeah. I'm just saying, I got burned really bad on that beta VHS thing already. Luckily, the beta tapes will fit right in my new toaster. So, all kinds of troubles. I've been having nightmares lately also. I had one recently about my toes, where I dreamt that the second toe was longer than the big toe. And I know that some people have this, so I'm not making fun. I mean, it was really longer, like about 1.5 inches, which for me is an unprecedented toe growth spurt. So I complained. In the dream, I complained to my father, who says, no problem, goes to the kitchen, comes back with a big knife. I don't know why I trusted him. He lines my feet up next to each other and just chops the toes right off. And it hurt. So I said, ah! Roughly, it might have been, oh! But it was definitely a vowel. Then, the most unbelievable part of the dream, then he goes, oh, sorry. Like it's an accident. After he went to the kitchen special for the knife, and then lines my feet up next to each other so he can do them both at once, like it's a shortcut trick he learned on This Old House or something. Oh, sorry. And then he says, oh, don't worry, we'll go to the hospital. And he runs off to get my mom and my sister, because we're all going. Family trip to the hospital now. Meanwhile, I'm trying to stick my toe pieces back on there, and I can't remember which one goes on which foot, right? It's hard to tell them apart once they're rolling around loose like that. And I don't know what to do with them. They're all gross. Finally, I just throw them away. Oh, fuck those, I say. I say that in my dream to myself, but now out loud, so we can all enjoy it. But then, as soon as they hit the trash, I realized, the toenails are on there. I need the toenails, or I'll look stupid at the beach. And exactly. Also, the toenails are what give you that intimate contact with your feet. Once a month you have to go down to trim your toenails. And that's just your way of saying, hey, I care. So now I'm fishing them out of the trash, and there's coffee grounds are stuck all over them, which, hey, I told you it was a nightmare. Then my dad starts honking the horn in the driveway. They're all in the car now. Honk, 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 let's go. We're going for you, for crying out loud. Hurry it up. I have to rinse my toe pieces, Father. Finally, I get them washed off, and I put them in this olive jar that my mom saves those for just such an occasion. Of course, there's no ice to pack them in, because no one fills the tray in my dream. I get these nightmares. I have this I have a recurring nightmare, too, of a guy chasing me with a big knife. I guess this is a common dream, somebody chasing you, and he chases me with this knife, and then I always wake up right before he stabs me. I guess I'm worried he'd kill me in the dream. In real life, I doubt. But, I mean, it seems silly, kind of. The dream guy wouldn't kill me, because then what would happen to him? I got him on a technicality right there. They won't kill you. They'll chase you all night, but they won't kill you. That's right in their rule book or whatever they have. You know, if you catch up to the guy, act tired. So that, and then the weirdest dream ever in the dream trilogy. I had this dream. I was in the jungle. You know how in dreams, boop, I was in the jungle with these guys. Half of the guys are my friends. In the dream, in real life, I don't know who they are. It's some dream extras playing the part of my friends. And the other half of the guys are these native guys, and they're making a snack in this big frying pan, which I don't know where they get a nice pan like that in the jungle, but that's what I wonder now. Of course, at the time, I was thinking, hey, nice pan. I'm trying to suck up because I want some of that snack. And they're cooking some kind of meat, right? And nothing is sticking. It really is a nice pan. And I asked, well, what is it? And the one guy says, human flesh. Exactly, which I would never eat, except in the dream. I try it, because my dad, when I was a kid, at least taste everything. Okay. Oh, man. And I didn't taste it, though. I woke up. I think it was a dream control center panic. Like there's guys in white lab coats in my brain going, what do we make it taste like? I can't believe he's eating it. Bring him out of it. So I woke up, and then afterwards I kind of had to believe that the dream guys were probably pissed at the one guy who said human flesh for improvising off the written script, you know. You should have said chicken, then we could have gone on the boat ride, but no. Human flesh, very funny. You're going to have a non-speaking part in the next dream, mister. So why don't you go put the bear suit on right now? Dreams, and I think they go back to when I was a kid. My dad, he made me eat these tomatoes one time. I'm not saying that's the exact cause of it. He had a huge argument. I told him they were going to make me sick. He said, those tomatoes won't make you sick. I said, I'll throw up. He goes, just eat the tomatoes. I said, I'll throw up. Then he goes, just eat the tomatoes. And when he does that satanic ventriloquist thing, smart money's on eat the tomatoes. So I got them all down. And then that last bite hit bottom. Everybody out? All over the table. My mom is, oh my. And, but really, that was a proud moment for me because I won that argument. My dad he's a wild guy. He's mellowed now since when I was a kid, my father. I think it was a lot of pressure for him to be the dad when I was little. You know how kids look up at your dad when you're a little kid, like he's got some special dad knowledge. And then you find out all he really knows is how to have sex with your mom. That's a little disappointing. But he used to try really hard, though. He'd take us on these family vacations in the car. More like a family hostage situation. Right. With my dad as the terrorist. We're going to take it easy this year. We're only going to see 30 states in 2 weeks. He'd pack us in that car. And then he put the cooler right in the trunk. Because we're too cheap to eat in restaurants, we got to stop and feed out of the back of the car. I'm sure we scared some other families, and if you're here, I'm sorry. But then, when we're ready to go, he would make us leave the house at 4 in the morning. Why? So we're 100 miles from home before we know what the hell is going on. That's my theory. It's like, well, can't defect from the vacation if you don't know the way home. I think that's what he was working on. So there we'd be in the driveway, 4 in the morning. This is like a bizarre prison transfer. He'd jam us in the car. And then he gets us in there, and then he's got all these rules about the car. The windows had to be up, all that. We could never put the windows down because of some streamlined gas mileage thing that he had worked out on previous vacations. So he's got bar graphs and pie charts to prove that. There's no arguing about the window thing. And then he put the air conditioner on recirc, so it's that same air going around and around in the car like we're taking that air to Wyoming. And then he would start smoking a cigar. So the car is smoking the cigar. We're all smoking the cigar, really. My dad just has first crack at it. So my sister and I would take a time out from our salt talks about where the exact center of the back seat was. All at once we can barely see each other, you know, so we open the window a half an inch just to breathe on either side. We're and he could detect that change in cabin pressure. So he'd start, oh, it's not that bad. People driving by can barely see us inside the car. Except we're making little signs, help us. And it's like a Cheech and Chong movie. There's smoke pouring out. And he would drive all day. And then we would try and make him stop at all the tourist places that we went by, because they have all those signs on the freeway. As soon as we were old enough to read, that was trouble. You know, 50 miles to the 40 miles to the 30 miles. We've got to see the patriotic snake. We must have seen every two-headed animal in the United States. But by far, the lamest, or the biggest, the lamest on a large scale thing that we saw was this. In South Dakota, there was a guy carving a mountain to look like Crazy Horse, a famous Indian, and it's right near Mount Rushmore, which is evidently where this guy got the idea to carve a mountain. But obviously no one told him that the other guy had help. It's one guy carving. His sons were helping when we were there. I think his wife chased him out there, so we go, help your father with the mountain, for crying out loud. So it's three guys on a mountain, and it doesn't even look like an Indian, and they want $6 to look at it, which I don't know how they can keep you from seeing a mountain. It's a mountain. There wasn't a curtain or anything. That'd be another $1. See the world's biggest curtain. So I can see the mountain. I'm telling my dad, don't pay. I can see the mountain. Don't pay. I can see the mountain. He's saying, don't anyone look at the mountain until I pay. I didn't raise a bunch of cheats. He would get so wound up, and part of it was probably my fault, because while we were driving, I'd sit behind him and do my foot under this seat. It's my experiments, and every time he'd be, I can feel that. Very sensitive butt, my dad. But he would drive all day. Even if it was 12 hours of driving, he'd barely be awake. The rest of us are wide awake, trying to see if he's going to kill us all. And so then my mom has to navigate, right? She's got the maps in the bag with the crackers and aerosol cheese spray. Man, we would take hits right out of the can sometimes. Those were the days. So he's driving, and she's feeding us cheese at the proper rate. And then he would wait to ask her directions, map questions, until we're going by the exits on the freeway. We go by, is that it? And she would grab the map like she could possibly answer fast enough. I don't know. And then he would get all pissed. Well, which way is north then? Like that would solve everything. If he could just know north, the big diorama of the United States in his brain would lock on target. So which way is north? And she would try and pick it up on that compass. We had that compass on the dash, that ball whirling around in the compass juice. What is that juice? I must ask my dad 100 times, what is that juice, Dad? I don't know, roll your window up, damn it. So I used to think it was some kind of alcohol, right? But don't drink it. It's like that shampoo with beer in it. Remember that beer shampoo? They would always say right in the commercial, it's got beer in it, but don't drink it. Like some idiots at home with the shampoo in a Pilsner glass or something. No kidding, don't drink shampoo to get... If you're drinking shampoo to get beer, quit washing your hair and go to a meeting. That's trouble. But and then One night after a show, this guy comes up to me in the back of the club and says, just walks right up to me and says, "Bar soil." Like it's a code thing. I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. Bar soil. New shoes. I didn't know what to say back to him. Then he says, "That's the compass juice. I was in the Coast Guard. We had to know that." Thank you. I might have put that information first if I was telling this story. I guess this guy figured I was constantly walking around. What is the juice in the compass called, you know? Like I was going to write in my diary that night. Still don't know what the compass juice is. I'm able to sleep, but still the dreams come. What is the juice? And it didn't really even matter what that juice was. The compass would never read north. It would never stop spinning around the damn thing. My mom finally had to get a magnetic rod and tie it on her head with a scarf. And that way she would just point north as we were driving. Oh, that's good. It's important to keep the fluids moving through your body. And this is just a gesture to help remind you of the way the fluids move through my body. Round and round. You have to have gestures. I have to have gestures anyway. If I tried to stop, I'd hemorrhage and fall down. But I'm always working on new gestures. This is a good gesture. A friend showed me this one, kind of a corporate presentation gesture. You know, the debits, the credits, the people we exploit. Good gesture. Best gesture ever, though, was my first neighbor in California. I moved out there. This guy comes over. He knew I was from the Midwest. He comes over after seeing a documentary about tornadoes, and he's all excited. You know, "Jake, those tornadoes, man, they can come and tear your whole fucking house." Could take your whole head off with a gesture like that. We used to make this guy stretch in the hall before we'd let him in for coffee. But we'd always let him come over because he always would say the greatest stuff. He came over one time. We're watching Liberace on television, live show in my living room. And he was on TV, and it's a key point in the show when the guy walks in. It's Liberace's getting out of a gold-plated car with the blinking pants and a live ocelot on his head. And this guy takes one look at the TV and says, "He is the commandant of flamboyancy." That about says it all right there, I guess. I like Liberace. I think that's the reason why, because he became all he could be, Liberace. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be watching somebody 10 years from now and say, "Oh, he's like Liberace, only more so." That Liberace reached maximum Liberaceositude. And, oh yeah. Well, you have to believe whatever meter they had him on, he pegged it right over. But I met a guy one night who said he did not like Liberace for the weirdest reason. He goes, "I don't like him because he's a big fag." Which I thought was stupid. I guess the guy figured if he said he liked Liberace, then Liberace might think he was gay and put the nudes on. I mean, that would be scary. Even if I was gay, I wouldn't want to go out with Liberace. And not just because he's dead, either. I'm saying he would be way out of my age group if I was gay. I would go out with a nice, young, handsome guy, because I have a positive self-image. And maybe we'd move back to the Midwest and start a little farm or something. I don't know. Till the townspeople burned us out, those bastards. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, this neighbor, very worried about the tornadoes, which didn't bother me so much when I lived in the Midwest, tornadoes, because they always give you that tornado warning, so you can go in the basement, unless you live in a trailer, and then you're fucked. But, well, really, if you live in a trailer, you were fucked way before that anyway. So, yeah. You know, I saw an interesting thing on television recently. I was watching He-Man, Master of the Universe, which, well, normally I don't watch He-Man, Master of the Universe because I have the action figures. So I like to make my own fun, but sometimes when I'm playing with them, I'm at a loss for what they might say to each other. So then I watch the cartoon for dialogue pointers, and I don't think that's plagiarism, really. So one day I'm watching, to see this new guy, I bought a new guy, Leechor, Evil Master of Power Suction, which I had to buy him for that title, Evil Master of Power Suction. I mean, I didn't even know there was a opening in Power Suction. Already this Leechor is the Evil Master, so it shows you what you can do if you find your niche and fill it, you know? Like this, oh, yeah. I'm not sure, but I think before that, Leechor sold Amway, but before he got into the Power Suction. But it's a full-time Power Suction now for him. But he was not on the cartoon. The day I watched, it was Skeletor, who was the evil skeleton guy. Except he's a skeleton with muscles, so it's kind of fake. But I'm watching, and Skeletor captures He-Man, gets him all tied up, and then he says the greatest thing. He goes, "My power is beyond your understanding." I'm dying to say that to somebody. I don't know exactly where, but I think the bank, probably. Just because, always at the bank, there's that huge line of, they have those ropes set up, and you wait in the line and back, and finally you get to the front. There's no ride. The whole time you're waiting, you're trying to figure out how they're running the bank. There'll be 3 tellers up there and 5 more back who won't come up to the front. They're all, "Help us, what do we do? Help us." And then the manager will come out to talk to them. "Janet, there's 50 people in line. Go to lunch, save yourself." So my theory is cut right to the front of the line. The people will be steamed at first. "Hey, pal, what do you think you're doing?" "My power is beyond your understanding." Right to the next available teller, I think. It could backfire, I suppose, if you cut in front of the wrong guy and just, "Understand my power." Then, but I got worse things to worry about than space aliens. I thought I met this woman recently. I'm sure that I met her. And I fell in love with her, and I thought she fell in love with me. Fuck! So, well. So you're familiar with that situation then. Man, I was devastated. I met her in this other city, and everything seemed dreamy, and she'd come and visit me on the road, and it was like a romance. I was falling, and it was great. And then I find out that there's some other guy in her hometown, and he's a lawyer, and she can't move away from her mother, and oh, fuck! I was devastated. I had bought a ring. A diamond ring. Well, yeah, which, well, it'll come in handy if I ever lock my keys in the car again. I got them right. So I'm a single guy with an engagement ring laying around the house. It's like having a loaded gun laying around. I'm scared I'm going to marry somebody by accident now, you know. "Hey, you're cute." I was so devastated by this thing. You know that breakup thing where you're just wrecked? Where you want to just sit in your house for 6 months smoking cigarettes and eating chicken pot pies in your underwear, just fuck. How does a thing like, oh, fuck! And then, I don't know, and then finally you get to the last one. I don't know what happened, you just, oh, fuck! Where are my pants? So, I guess the grass is always greener, I suppose. I was in a relationship before that with this woman for 5 years that, some good, but I hesitated to break up at the end, kind of, because I didn't think I could meet the perfect person. Little did I know that I would meet her and she wouldn't want to be with me. Fuck! So, anyway, I'm single again now, but I'm still buying condoms. Because I don't want the woman at the store to know that I've stopped having sex. I don't think that's any of her business, really. But they are kind of piling up now, so I'm gonna have to have a lucky streak. Or think of a craft project. Because there's so many of them, really. Part of the problem is I'm not embarrassed to buy the condoms. Not like when you first buy condoms, you have to mix them in with a bunch of other stuff, like you don't know that you're getting them or something. And it's, oh, condoms, I don't know how they got in there. Well, I'll take them. Fair's fair, I brought them up here. Just bring them up. Put them in the bag, please. Put them. Now I can just buy them, which hopefully I'll be able to do that later when I have to buy really embarrassing stuff. Like those adult diapers. Just, man, that box is so big. You can't really mix them in with anything. Unless you're buying tractor tires or something like that. And they hardly ever sell those two things at the same store. So, hopefully I'll be proud. I'll just be able to slam them up there like I'm proud. Those are for me. I got a job to do. I'm a big boy. I'm peeing right now. Could not stop if I wanted to. But why would you want to, really, if you were protected? That's why I've come to think of it, I might get a box just for the hell of it. What could be better than taking a leak while you're talking to somebody in a tight spot? Oh, right. Very interesting. Thank you very much. You guys have been terrific. From now on, I don't get involved with a woman unless I have both our therapists sign off on it first. Oh boy, I gotta go. I think I'm late for something. Anyway, that just about covers it. Why don't you keep these, Earl? Earl! Thanks, really. Thank you.
Everybody wants prosthetic. No luck with the Secret Service.
He was spotted in Rio on Friday. He wasn't at the Maxfield cell. Check out the maternity wards. Look, Sheriff. Sheriff, you gotta let me out of here. Come on. I start shooting Lethal Weapon 3 tomorrow, man. They need me. The whole crew. 300 people's job depending on me. Well, come on, man. They all got kids. They'll all be starving. They'll be starving with listless eyes and distended bellies if I don't turn up. Come on, you gotta let me out of here. Don't you recognize me?
Hey, I don't recognize you at all, and then if you'd be just a little more careful about recycling these cans, you wouldn't be in there in the first place now, would you?
Oh, come on. It was only one can. You can't lock a man up for just throwing a can out the window for littering. Look, you beat me.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, too, every second of it. I'll do it again, too.
Look, just forget it. I'll stay in here.
Hey, wait a minute. What? Didn't you do some kind of behind-the-scenes?
Yeah.
It's something like video diary or something like that?
Yes.
Inside?
Yes.
With something...
Our next guest, if he's still back there, is a very talented comedian and a good friend of ours. He will be appearing at the Gotham Comedy Club right here in New York City from May 7th through the 20th. Here's Jake Johansson, everybody.
Boy, thanks very much. I feel pretty good. I don't have a lot of time, so this is the thing. We're all getting older, right? I mean, nothing personal. Even babies are getting older, and most of the time you don't feel it, right? Because it happens so slowly, a couple seconds at a time, and it takes some. Then something will happen to make you realize what's really going on. Like I recently hurt myself while I was asleep. Yeah, if that's never happened to you, the way it works is you go to bed, you're fine, you feel great. And then you wake up and you've got like an athletic type injury. And you know, it hurt like you ran to first base too fast or something. So you walk around and people can notice it and they'll say something to you like, oh, what happened to you? And that's when it gets kind of weird because you're like, I don't know, because I was asleep at the time, and that's bad because normally, you know, if you hurt yourself, you'd like to be able to say, well, I'm not doing that again, right? But I'm not sure what it was, and I have to sleep tonight. Yeah, it's a little bit of fear every time I go to bed now. And if you've never hurt yourself while you're asleep, the way that you know that it's about to happen is you'll hurt yourself. You'll have a sneeze when you're on one foot, kind of in transition, and something will go wrong. Once that happens, a sleep injury right around the corner. So, yeah, take care. If I feel a sneeze coming on, I like to get symmetrical. So I had a friend. He had a health thing recently. He got these headaches. Started getting these headaches where he was dizzy and nauseous, you know. And I said, dude, I will drive you to the emergency room, you know, because you shouldn't be driving when you're dizzy. That's a safety tip. And also, you like to have company when you go to the emergency room, right? Because you're going to be there a while. I'm assuming we've all been to the emergency room. You know, remember that first time you went to the emergency room? You thought you were going right in, like, it's emergency! You know? Yeah. All those expectations, you know, are you the doctor? Like, oh, no, I'm not the doctor. Doctor's not even here. But we're going to be doing a little clipboard work, and when that's finished, you see that guy over there with his eye in a cup? You are after that guy. Yeah. So, They try and help you out. They tell you, so you just keep an eye on him, and then when you see him go in, that's how you'll know you're next, right? And then that way you won't have to bother me, because I'm busy. They're always kind of mad at you at the emergency room for hurting yourself on their shift. You know, you had to cut your damn hand off today, didn't you? So we're there about six hours, you know, which is a long time in the emergency room, but it's not that bad because you're in the emergency room, so you feel like you're safe, right? You know, like if you started to die, they would come out and help you. You know, you would get promoted to next, and so. So we don't feel bad. We wait 6 hours. I mean, it's a long time. But then finally we get to go in, and they give him an MRI, a brain scan, you know, and they say, well, good news, you know. Bad news is we're not sure what's causing your headaches, but the good news is you're not going to die, you know, because it's not a brain tumor or an aneurysm. Those are the big ones that you worry about. And they say, well, it's not that. And so we decide to celebrate, you know, because that's a win for us. And, right? I mean, he's happy because, you know, he's not going to die, and then I'm happy because he's my friend. You know, what kind of a jackass would I be? Just go in the emergency room like, if he dies, I get his jacket. That's not how I roll. So we're excited. We're gonna commemorate the day. So we bought flasks. We each got a flask, you know, because it's like the two guys can get flasks. Nobody's gonna say anything about that. And so we got flasks, and we got them engraved. They say, my brain hurts, but it's okay now. And, yeah. I don't know why they don't write that on all flasks. But, so we got these flasks, and I'd never had a flask before, you know. And just, let me tell you, if you're thinking about whip your flask out sometime, take a big swig, and watch how quick people judge you. Yeah. I know. Even my friends, you know, were like, dude, maybe that's a sign you've got a problem. And I know. I was like, and maybe that's a sign I found a solution. God,
that was funny, Jake. Very funny. Jake Johansson, everybody. Boy, that was good. My thanks to Jake Johansson, Charles Grodin, and my mom. On Monday, Mike Myers and America Ferrara.
That I notice now more than ever is teenage panhandlers. You can see them down anytime. These not regular panhandlers. Have you seen the teenage panhandlers out in front of the record store? Got any change? What? Got any change? Some 17-year-old kid, bunch of tattoos, leather jacket, pierced nose. Got any change? Yes. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are people in this country who need help, who should get help. People that don't have jobs, that should get jobs or training. And then there are these goody change. I mean, I don't want to come off as grumpy old Mr. Gould, but I thought it took time to become a bum. I didn't know you could rocket right into it. You have to attain grace before you fall from it. You can't retire until you've worked. But they all have an ethic. They all have their heroes. Trent Reznor, Nine Inch Nails, Rage Against the Machine. They all have the tattoos. They all have the T-shirts. But have you noticed none of your heroes are with you today? Trent Reznor is not hanging out in front of the record store. Maybe he's at work. Trent Reznor is a professional musician. He gets paid millions of dollars every year to sing Up the System to you. He takes that money and spends it on other businesses, creating an economy. This essential exchange of goods and services is the very backbone of the system that you claim to not want to be a part of. So I can't give you my money. I'm not going to infect you with my dirty capitalist money. I'm not going to be the snake that lures you out of the Eden-like paradise of sidewalk living. Homeless people have no choice. You have a choice. You're not homeless. You're always home. It's amazing. Don't get me wrong. I love America. You know, I went to Europe last summer. I performed in Edinburgh, Scotland. Fulfilled a lifelong dream of being heckled in Gaelic. You know. Good evening. I'm Dana Gould from America. Scree! What? Scree-yee! Scree-yee? What? Echt je raspe je bastard! Everything over there ends in a strangled bastard. And you take this woman to be your lovely wedded wife. Ich accursed you and knew you all my life. I love you, girl. Ah, you bastard. I now pronounce you man and wife, you flippin' sods. That country is so old, everything is haunted there. You know? Oh, that castle's haunted. I just bought this postcard. It's a haunted postcard. I don't believe in haunted houses because the way I think of it, if the White House is not haunted, no house will ever be haunted. When you think of all the stuff that's gone down in that building, if that place isn't haunted, forget it. It'd be great if it was haunted, though, because you could identify the ghosts, you know. Kennedy walking around at 3 in the morning. Boo! I am a ghost! Boo! The toilet's flushing and there's no one there. Aren't you scared? What if you died and you went to hell and it was exactly what you thought it would be?
Oh my God.
And the devil really was this jackass in a red leotard with a pitchfork. Wouldn't you feel stupid? This is it? Yeah, screw you, I'm the devil, screw you! This is it? Yeah! Bet you're hot! But for people who are so afraid of the devil, why is it that when people are possessed by the devil, we always have them exorcised? Think of what we could learn by having the devil around. Just take him out with you.
I am the Lord, the devil is unholy and evil. I don't like roller coasters. I'll wait here. You go on ahead.
Oh, come on, it's fun.
Fly off. I'm still evil.
The devil hates roller coasters. Put all churches and amusement parks. We'll be fine. You guys have been great. Thank you very much. The end.